In the 13th century, the Mongol Empire was a force unlike any the world had ever seen. Spanning from Europe to Asia, it was the largest contiguous empire in history. But behind the scenes, tension simmered. When Genghis Khan's grandsons, Kublai Khan and Arik Boka, each claimed the title of Great Khan, the empire was pushed to the brink of civil war. This is the story of the Toluid Civil War, a battle for power that would forever shape the legacy of the Mongol Empire. Before we proceed, if you would like to see contents focusing on the Mongols only, then subscribe to our channel, Mongol Chronicles. After Genghis Khan's death in 1227, his vast empire was divided among his four sons, Yochi, Chagatai, Ogadai, and Tolui. Each received a share of the territories, but Genghis named Ogadai as his successor, the Great Khan, with authority over the entire empire. Ogadai's rule was followed by his son, Guyuk Khan, who took power in 1246 but died unexpectedly in 1248, leaving the empire without a clear leader. With Guyuk's death, power shifted to the descendants of Tolui, the youngest son of Genghis Khan. In 1251, Tolui's eldest son, Mongke, was chosen as Great Khan at a Kurultai, marking a turning point as the Toluid line ascended to supremacy. In 1259, Mongke launched a campaign to conquer the Song dynasty in southern China, aiming to bring all of China under Mongol rule. But during the siege of Diaoyu Fortress, Mongke's campaign took a tragic turn. In August of 1259, Mongke died. Some sources suggest he succumbed to wounds from battle, while others hint at illness. The sudden death of Mongke threw the empire into uncertainty. Far from his capital and without a named successor, Mongke's death left a power vacuum, and two of his brothers, Kublai and Arik Boka, prepared to claim the throne. Kublai was leading a campaign in Sichuan against the Song dynasty when news of Mongke's death reached him. Unlike his brothers, Kublai had adapted to Chinese administrative practices, earning support from local Chinese officials. With Mongke gone, Kublai recognized his opportunity to secure the throne and left the battlefield to convene a Kurultai to legitimize his claim. Kublai's strategy differed significantly from traditional Mongol rulers. He embraced Chinese customs and even relied on Chinese advisors, which made him popular among his Chinese subjects. In 1260, both Kublai and Arik Boka held separate Kurultais. A Kurultai was a traditional political and military council among the Mongols, where leaders and representatives from various Mongol clans would gather to make important decisions. This included decisions on matters of war, tribal disputes, and, notably, the selection of a new Great Khan, supreme leader, for the Mongol Empire. Kublai's Kurultai was held in Shangdu, a city close to his Chinese allies, while Arik Boka's Kurultai took place in the Mongol capital of Karakorum. Each was declared Great Khan, sparking a civil war that would divide the empire. Imagine an empire split between two brothers, each claiming to be the rightful ruler. Kublai, with his Chinese influence, versus Arik Boka, the traditional Mongol warrior. The Mongol Empire, once united under Genghis Khan, now faced an internal war for its future. The Mongol Empire fractured along lines of loyalty. Kublai was supported by Chinese officials and those who favored his progressive policies, including many northern Mongolian elites. Meanwhile, Arik Boka held the loyalty of the traditional Mongol heartland and had the support of key figures in Karakorum who valued preserving Mongol customs. The Ilkhanate under Hulagu, Kublai's brother in Persia, sided with Kublai, while the Chagatai Khanate and factions of the Golden Horde backed Arik Boka. Loyalties were complex, but they reflected each brother's vision for the future of the empire. The Civil War began with a series of skirmishes and tactical battles. Kublai, controlling resources from his Chinese territories, focused on establishing strongholds and maintaining supply lines. Arik Boka, operating from Karakoram, used traditional Mongol tactics, relying on the mobility of his cavalry and knowledge of the steppes. In these early clashes, Arik Bok's forces managed to score small victories using speed and agility. However, as the war progressed, Kublai's access to Chinese resources and siege expertise shifted the momentum in his favor. As the war dragged on, Kublai's forces gained the upper hand. Major battles saw Kublai's forces employing superior resources and advanced siege tactics learned from Chinese engineers. These battles wore down Arik Bok's forces, depleting his resources and weakening his support among the Mongol elite. Arik Bok's lack of access to steady resources, combined with defections among his ranks, forced him into a defensive position. His support dwindled, and he found it increasingly difficult to counter Kublai's well-funded and organized forces. In 1264, which made it 4 years of this grueling conflict, Arik Bok's resources were nearly exhausted. Recognizing that further resistance was futile, he surrendered to Kublai, ending the Toluid Civil War. However, Kublai's victory came at a great cost. The unity of the Mongol Empire was shattered. Arik Bok's surrender was a symbol of the end of a unified Mongol Empire. The struggle between two brothers had left the empire fractured, its central authority weakened. Following his victory, Kublai established the Yuan dynasty in China in 1271, marking a new era. However, the empire was no longer the unified force it had been under Genghis Khan. The Golden Horde, Ilkhanate, and Chagatai Khanate all operated independently, acknowledging Kublai only in name. The Toluid Civil War left an enduring legacy. The Mongol Empire was now a collection of separate khanates, each pursuing its own interests. Had Möngke lived, some believe he would have favored Arik Boka, the traditionalist, over Kublai, whose Chinese-influenced policies raised concerns. Möngke's decision to appoint Arik as regent in Karakoram suggests he trusted him with the empire's core, while Kublai's loyalty was uncertain. This conflict reflects the clash between tradition and adaptation that marked the Mongol Empire's final chapters. The Toluid Civil War signaled the end of the Mongol Empire's unity. Though Kublai won, the empire was now divided, each khanate moving in its own direction. The once unbreakable empire founded by Genghis Khan had splintered, forever changing the course of history. The story of Kublai and Arik Boka serves as a powerful reminder of how ambition, tradition, and conflict can shape the fate of empires. Enjoyed this video? Subscribe for more contents on the Mongols.